Welcome to CARV Fitness. I'm your host, Joe Kwan. Today, Ashley and Elizabeth are going to help me get through this 15-minute AMRAP. This is going to be working primarily our legs and our glutes, posterior chain. So get ready. This is going to really burn, but I swear this is going to be a lot of fun. Ashley is going to actually be using a band today to show you how to upscale some of these movements. When we get to that portion, I'll demonstrate how to use some of the bands to kind of get more of a resistance workout than using just body weight. The first movement is going to be a lateral step out into a sumo squat. Start in this position, step out just beyond your shoulders, straight into a squat, come back to the middle, step out to the other direction, and come back to the middle again. We're going to be doing 4 each, so it's going to be 4 to the right, 4 to the left. The next movement is going to be a single leg deadlift, also known as a hip hinge, in which case we are going to balance on one leg, if I can, hinge down as far as you can go. Currently I'm dealing with a hip issue, so I can go as far as my knee, and that's fine. If you have any sort of injury that prohibits you from going down further, just go down to your comfort level and stop. If you have to put the foot down in the back, that's fine too. Remember, this is all for your body, and if your body doesn't allow you to do something, just don't do it. My right leg, I can go down all the way. So if we have that mobility and that range of motion, try to go down, tap the ground. You can bend the knee slightly if it's too difficult on your hamstring, and just touch the ground and come back up and switch legs. The third movement is the deadlift. With the deadlift, we're going to hinge at the hips again, come down, tap the outside of our feet, and just stand it straight up. If you also want to do a little bit of a bend in your knees to touch the ground, you can do that as well. The final movement is going to be the most difficult of the 4 movements. It's called the switch lunge. You're going to be starting in a lunge position and immediately coming out of it straight into the next leg. So as you can see, doing these for a long period of time will be quite challenging, and we're doing them for 4 each leg. This is an AMRAP. That means you're going to get through as many rounds of this as you can for 15 minutes. That means you have to build in your own rests. All right, so let me get into the upscaling here. For the single leg deadlift and the deadlift, you can use a band if you've purchased one from our store. The way to get into the single leg deadlift, you can use different levels of intensity, obviously. Right now, Ashley's doubling up the band. She's going to hinge at the hips. And as you can see, as she gets down to the bottom, the band gets a little bit looser, but then as she stands it up, it tightens up. And that's the portion that we're really looking to push our hips forward with our glutes. The next way to upscale is the deadlift. Now Ashley's going to have some tension at the top as she's standing up, and she's going to hinge down and then go right past the knees and come right back up, fully extending and opening up the hips. Thanks so much, Ashley. All right, are you all ready? You ready, Elizabeth? Here we go. 15-minute AMRAP, 4 lateral step outs, 4 single leg deadlifts, 4 deadlifts, 4 switch lunges, and 3, 2, 1, and go. So with AMRAPs, I always like to take the first round kind of easy, test out all the movements before I bump my intensity up for the remaining rounds, and then get into the last few rounds at full intensity. Remember, with single leg deadlift, go nice and slow until you get your balance, figure it out, see where you're able to get to. You can see Ashley here using these bands, looking really great. This is going to just intensify the actual movement, make it a little bit more challenging for you. Elizabeth has great mobility. You can see she keeps her body nice and straight. Her leg and her torso move as one unit. That's exactly what we want to see out of these single leg deadlifts. Go straight into those deadlifts. This is really similar to a toe touch. And really all we're trying to do is get that length in those hamstrings and then stand it up, opening up the hips. Straight into those switch lunges. 4 on each side, so 8 total. All right, and we go straight back into the next round. And now We know what the movements feel like. We can bump our intensity up a little bit, get through these movements a little bit faster. Everyone's pace is going to be different, right? This is an AMRAP. So if you get tired and you need to take a rest, it means you're going to slow down just a little bit, and that's totally fine. Now, as you get more tired, these single leg deadlifts are going to get more challenging. Balance is going to get harder. Your little muscles are going to fight to control you, and that's really a great thing, right? Just remember, don't go too far, don't fall over, lose your balance, hurt yourself. We're trying to avoid that. How's it going, y'all? How's that band feeling, Ashley?
Good.
All right. Good. All right. You're doing great, everyone. You're about 2.5 minutes into this workout, 12.5 minutes to go. So see how you're feeling. If you feel good, maybe bump up the intensity just a little bit. With these switch lunges, same as with the step back lunges or forward lunges, make sure you're controlling your lower down to the ground, touching the knee just barely to the ground and not slamming it in. We don't want to see that. Don't forget to breathe. Take breaks when you need. Get your water in, small sips. Don't log your belly. You don't want to do that either. Now, if at this point you're feeling a little bit too fatigued, you can always slow it down. If you've already come out of the gates a little bit too hot, it's okay to slow it down, get to a pace that feels good for you, and keep going. My balance is already starting to go. Whew.
You know we're concentrating on our core.
I know. The balancing is always the hardest part, right? You really gotta find a spot on the floor or on the wall in front of you that doesn't move and just focus on that and hope that the rest of your body follows. All right. We're just under 4 minutes down. We've got about 11 minutes to go here. Now, pacing is going to be everything for a workout like this. Right now, Elizabeth has a nice pace going. Ashley's going full speed with her lunges. This is great. Breathing heavy. Got some sweat going. The band's all right still?
The band's great.
Yeah, remember, you can always stop using the band if the band gets a little bit too intense. Stop using it, you're still gonna get that workout. At least you tried for the first few movements. The more you get used to the bands, the easier they're gonna be. So really get used to using them for a few sets each time, maybe through the whole workout if you're able to now. If it's too easy, you can always bump up to a heavier band, and that'll make it a little bit harder for you. 10 minutes to go, y'all. 5 minutes down. 10 minutes to go. Heavy breathing is a good sign, right? If you're breathing heavy, it means you're doing some work. And my imbalance on the left is pretty severe right now, as you can see, and that's fine. Just gotta really, not get too ahead of myself, think I can go beyond what I'm able to, and really just trust my body, trust what it feels like. With these single leg movements, notice how the knee goes back and forth. So this is something that we're actually building, right? We're building a lot of these stabilizer muscles in our legs by doing these one-legged movements. It's always a good idea to try some, even if you're unable to do it. If you have to put a toe in the back, it's always a good idea to at least try a few of them. And then once you fail a few of them, then you can use a little bit of assistance behind you. All right. All right, about 9 minutes left. Keep this pace. Right now, y'all are looking great. All right, don't forget, water's gonna save you for a lot of these workouts. Make sure you're staying hydrated. It's funny, when I first joined the band, I did not sweat at all, and this was the thing that was talked about on stage. I would literally play a show 2.5 hours long, walk off stage, and my clothes would be dry. This was also like, I wasn't working out a lot, and something I noticed was the more I worked out, the more efficient, I guess, the system got, right? And the more I would just like start warming up and I'd start sweating. Now, that's where I'm at now. I'm like fully sweating right now doing these movements. It's funny how that happens. I'm like, oh, I don't sweat. I thought I was super efficient. In reality, I was super inefficient. Now it's like a running joke about how much I sweat on stage. It's unfortunate. Just about 7 minutes left. We're over halfway done with this workout. If you are able to bump up the intensity now, you feel like maybe you want to grab a band if you have them, it's a great time. Go ahead and upscale on these two movements here, the single leg deadlifts and the deadlift. See how it goes. Let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear your feedback on it.
Looking good. So hard.
They're much harder with the band. It turns out. I actually carry a band with me everywhere I go. I have a band in my bag. I've got one in my suitcase on the road. It's something that I have because I love it for stretching. I love it for all sorts of different workouts if I don't have my weights or anything like that. Bands, you can get such an effective workout just by having these bands with you. I have a band. I've got some smaller bands. I've got a jump rope. That's my like hotel travel kit if I don't want to go down to the gym for some reason. Or I don't have a gym. Maybe I'm just like in the bus all day. It's a great thing to have with me. 6 minutes to go, y'all. Ashley, how you doing?
I don't even know if I have words. I'm doing good.
Elizabeth, you? Good. Look at how good her mobility is with these single legs. They're great. Elizabeth here coaches yoga sometimes as well, so she has that mobility that I wish I had. Ugh. I feel like as I've gotten older, the harder it's gotten to get more limber. I spend more and more time doing mobility work, and now it's come to the point where I'm doing mobility work for an hour a day and working out for 30 sometimes. Whew. All right, just at about 5 minutes left. Feeling pretty good. 15-minute AMRAP is kind of a long AMRAP for these types of movements. So keep that in mind as you get into these movements and you're feeling the burn coming on. If you think you can maintain that pace, go with it. If you think you can bump it up, even better. I keep losing count because I talk too much. Maybe a few extra reps wouldn't hurt me, right?
The world of a trainer. You cannot talk and count.
Should be easier. It really isn't. I'm having to slow these single leg deadlifts down a lot now, just because I notice myself losing my balance even more. It's totally fine. Keep it nice and controlled. It's better to have controlled movements than to do these fast and fall out of position. All right. Just at 4 minutes left. See if we can get through at least 3 more rounds of this before the end. Right? We got it, right? 4 minutes. Let's try to knock out at least 2 more rounds. Making those look easy, Ashley.
My eyes are involuntarily crying for me.
That's great. Something to remember too with these single leg deadlifts, make sure that your hips aren't turning. We're not doing these lateral movements. We really want to try to keep these hips square as you go down for these hip hinges. Single leg deadlifts. All right, 3 minutes left. Crunch time, y'all. Maybe in 1 minute, we'll try to bump the intensity up just a bit. Anyone? Any takers? I think that's a solid no. Doing great, everyone. I know everyone out there is doing great too. Whew. The fact that you showed up and you started this workout means you're at least one step closer to feeling better today, right? Two and a half minutes to go. I'm gonna see if I can speed these movements up a little bit. See if I can get another round or two in. Really helps keep your eye on a stationary object when you're doing any sort of balance movements, I gotta say. Just under 2 minutes left. Oh yeah, we've got one more round in us. Minute and a half left, y'all. So close. All right. Love hearing the good breathing going on. Keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Might have been one too many deadlifts. Again, I can't talk and count. Switch lunges are getting tough now, huh? Oh, 55 seconds, y'all. Let's see if we can knock out one more round. Thirty seconds left. Oh boy, last 20 seconds coming up. Finish strong, y'all. All right, 10 seconds left. Use the full time, even if you don't make it through another round. Keep going. 3, 2, 1, and that is it. Woo, nice job. Yeah, look at the sweat just coming off our heads. That was amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the recovery block. Thanks.